And this is Press Review. Today I'm joined by Ambrose Weathers, a lawyer and a canon, as well as former Mwingi Central Member of Parliament, Joe Mutambo. Welcome to the show, gents. It's time to take a look at what's making headlines. And today, let's start off with the Standard. The top story today is conned in 23 minutes. The 39 billion fake arms scam. And being mentioned on the top page are, of course, various public figures that are in connection and the connection they have to this particular saga. We have Chief of Defense Forces General Samson Mwatete. Ruto suggests a Chesacon team might have met at DOD. Then we have the Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Rachel Omamo. The fake deal dates back to last year when she served as a Defense CS. Then Defense Cabinet Secretary Monica Juma, her signature was used in fake tender documents, while former Sports Cabinet Secretary Rashid Echesa, who has been named adversely in this particular story, as said to be the mastermind of the scam, now in custody on forgery and fraud claims. But we have the Deputy President coming out strongly, giving a statement saying, other than 23 minutes in annexed for months, which government officers involved in the tender did the scammers visit? Did they access DOD? Who facilitated and who did they meet? Get the truth. And he has said this is a paid nonsense being fronted, or rather put out there by the media. What do you make of this one, Mr. Weather?
Thank you so much. I think if you're talking about arms deal, arms,
yes,
weaponry, firepower,
yeah,
you are talking about big people, big government.
Right.
You're not talking about Joe Mutambo here conning us about locusts. You're talking about a government to government and all these things.
Right.
Therefore, the con people would not ordinarily speak to ordinary people. They would speak to big people, and then they would speak to big power. That is why when you meet, let's say, in the Deputy President's office, it gives it a name. Credibility. Yeah. You're like, all these things. Yeah. But like the Deputy President seems to be saying, you can't talk about without talking about the military. You can't talk about without talking about the minister concerned. You can't talk about without talking about procurement. Yeah. All these things must have been knitted together. You knit them together, then you come up with a scam. Whether or not it was a con is difficult to tell. It could have been a deal that was in another way and people are going to make money. Then eventually it has gone sour. And then you have General Echesa masterminding it. But he couldn't have masterminded it from the streets. Oh, yeah. He masterminds it from inside. So those who are inside, Echesa will tell us, is it the Deputy President, is it the DOD, is it Rachel Mamo, all these people. But when you look at all these people, I think my President, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, got some crooks around. So that every corner we are talking about this scam or that scam or this game or that game. I wish you just got a few people who just wants to work and they work and they work. Now we are talking about 23 minutes, a sacked government person going into the Deputy President's office, talking about and meeting people. Surely, aren't they busy working? Right. So this one, they need to tell us more. They should not now come to us and tell us it was only 23 minutes. We want to see the footage, the videos, how they were meeting. We want to see the papers. Let them be flashed. Let them not take us for a ride, because we are angry as a people. We're already angry. Joe Mutambo here is very angry about it. He wants to know the truth.
Now, the further details in this story tell us that to some, Daniel Omondi is also known as Mohamed Sabo. This is one of the people involved in this and is a Kenyan Defense Forces pilot. Yet to some, he is General Omondi, one of the investors in the fake deal, told police that he knew one of the fake investors told the police that he knew him as Mohammed Sabu and the pilot involved in the joint operation between Kenya, KDF and US in Somalia. Whenever he met with investors or suppliers, he was always accompanied by a bodyguard and an escort of vehicles. I mean, just assuming I guess, putting up a facade, I would imagine, to give himself more credibility. And I imagine that goes hand in hand with that particular meeting that you're talking about, the 23 meeting. If it happened at that venue, then it would lend a touch of credibility to a possible deal, whether fake or not.
You know, there's a lot of comedy in this country of ours. In every field, you find so many comedians, and they are trying to get living, to find some living. One, from where I sit, I have a lot of faith within institutions. We are put in place in institutions, investigative institutions, led by one Abo Kinoti. Kinoti is one qualified officer who is in a position to know who is telling the truth and who is lying. He has able officers who are well funded by the government. For me and Weda to pronounce in meetings, in rallies, in funerals, that go arrest so and so, I need to take a ride to Kinoti's office and I tell him that I have this and that evidence. Weda will tell you, because he's a lawyer, one, this is a matter which is in court. And there is a level which we cannot discuss it. But the shell of it is that people are mentioned. People are insinuating that arrest DP, arrest this, arrest that. What I know as a politician is this. We have so many consultant people. Consultancy is legal. It's allowed. And people would want to do business out there. What we are talking about here, like Wedas alluded, we are talking about weapons. There is a way government do business.
Yes, this is true.
Government do not just buy. There is a procedure of procuring. And there are also some items which you will never see on your newspapers or advertised anywhere. And the people have known that there are some restricted tenders. And out of that knowledge, they position themselves in a manner that I can be able to procure or to help you get this deal. The bottom of this matter lies within the DOD. Because once we get the figure, there must be the items. What are these items? And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think there's any conman out there who will come out with the figures. We want to procure these guns, and they know the names of the guns and the price of the guns and everything, without having some details. So, like what I'm saying, there must be some information coming, trickling down from somewhere. And that information, where it came from, the person who has got the capacity and the power to investigate, to know the origin, the source of this is DCI. Others, we are just talking about symptoms. And we will not cure the problem.
The root problem.
The root, the cause root. The person who has that ability is not the politician, not me, to say, you know, go and arrest this. It is the DCI who will be able to know that these people who are walking around with documents, where now the matter goes to court. It will go to court, and I'm sure that is why one HSR is charged on with one thing.
And you know,
either forgery. If the signatures on those papers were not for the people who are supposed to sign, and their signatures which bears the name of Ambrose Weda or Joe Mutambo, and I am not the one who signed, then the holder or the person who is holding that document will be held liable for forgery. But stealing I don't know.
Yeah.
Ambrose is a lawyer. He'll tell us how someone will prove that there was stealing. What we are being treated is the huge figures. Maybe those figures is what was on the deals, on the papers, there was this deal. But did that 59 or 39 billion exchange hands?
Right.
If they were, there must be some traces of bank transfers and all. So let us not just amplify things which are not there.
And speaking
Let us treat the issues as they are. And if it is forgery, the cases of forgery have in court, a lot of them, and I don't hear people talk about it.
And you know, if it's a question of them just being amplified, we have the DP accusing the media of just being paid off to spread this story, and then we have the CS's Rachel Omamo and Monica Juma remaining mum on this matter. General Mwathethe too has not responded to any queries regarding this story. Then we have the Director of Communications Bogita Ongeri denying knowledge of any such meeting happening at their offices. So do you think it's too much, this being splashed across the papers?
I think Kenyans, please, the arms deals are not new. They've been there over the years. Kenya is at war in Somalia and so on and so forth. If there is one thing that you talk about in the world, it's about arms deals, arms race, arms deal. We used to have somebody called Khashoggi, arms. So this is not, if you ask me, my intuition tells it's not something fake.
Yeah.
It is not something which never was. When you are talking about states and people buying arms, there are, first of all, licenses, authority required, all sorts of high security issues. You must be a super con man from Pluto or Mars or Jupiter, sanctified by Lucifer himself, for you to pull out this one. This one, what we can see is that there is correct information from inside. There was correct work inside. But some people who are smart also are trying to make their money in between. And I think the deal now will be used to also hurt some others.
Yeah.
You understand? But otherwise, it is not, it can't just be fake. I don't think there's anybody who would want to buy arms and then give commission and it is all fake. Say locusts. If you are selling locusts, it would work. But if you are selling arms, I'm telling you no. So you can see that the DOD should know something about it. My big sister Rachel should know about it. All these guys, they know about it. And then I think it was the ugali may have been poured on Mheshimiwa Ruto's office.
Yeah.
He may have known or may not have known. But where a lot of this money is passing, I'm telling you, the whole team knows it. Otherwise, you know what is called the NSIS? You can snooze about locusts, it will escape them. But when you are talking about arms deals. Even if you imported just five pistols, Seska, 5 of them, from Uganda all the way here, they will know. Someone will say, there was this. So we are not talking about, let them not take us for a ride. Let them just say, if they think this is good enough to arrest the DP, let them arrest it so that we move on to removing the locusts. If they think they want to reorganize things, but let's not treat us to theater. We are no longer such foolish as they think. This deal, they know about it, and I think it is true.
Okay.
The deal was there. The big people are involved, but I think there's a small limb that they want to use to sacrifice some people. And Chesa found himself. See, Chesa is the guy who was found with billions or who. You know, you don't move around with billions unless you are in the billions circle.
Yeah.
So they're taking us for a ride.
As it were, the DP has said, my office does not procure for any ministry or department, says Ruto, as footage shows his aides were present when former Minister Rashid Chesa met Polish dealers in the DP's boardroom. This is according to the Daily Nation. If you want to know more about this unfolding saga, you can take a look at that paper and get more details. But let's move on to another big story.
Before we
Honorable
there's one thing we need to tell Kenyans. Because I interact with the power, I interact with business people. There is a notion with business people that when I visit a country, I want to see the leaders of that country so that I feel comfortable. I'm also a businessman, and I go outside the country, and I get satisfied when I meet a top-notch officer, someone who can guarantee me that whatever I'm doing in that country, my security, my everything is guaranteed, so there's nothing to worry. Some others even demand to see the president, not because they want to do the business with the president, but they just want to get that comfort. So it is normal. I want to tell you, it is normal. It happens on daily basis.
Right.
People come, they pay. What is the meaning of a courtesy call? When somebody pays a courtesy call to somebody's office, what do they discuss there? Do they discuss business? They don't discuss business, but they get that comfort. That courtesy is to make you feel you are in a secure country and you have been received by the owners of the country. So in this scenario, people might have demanded, you know what, we want to see the higher officers in this country, be it president, be it a deputy, be it this powerful minister, I want to meet him, and people would want to go there and have a meeting with him. And maybe whatever they are discussing has got nothing to do with the procurement. It could be a courtesy call. And because Chesa is aligned to that team, maybe he gave them that comfort. You know what? I have this boss whom you can meet for you to know that this deal is real, and we can go to this office. And once they see people saluting, going like this, so they get that comfort. So it's not that when we go to church, you are given sacrament and you are told that this is the body of Christ. That does not mean it has been sliced from Jesus Christ. It's a belief, and that is what happened, and that is what is happening in our country. And to loop somebody in that you are involved in this because these people came in. It is as good as saying anybody who landed in this country, the person who is in charge of this country is involved. There are so many scamming activities going around, and top police officers don't know. Maybe the juniors know. But you cannot go and say it is the top police officer. You cannot say it is the president. You cannot say it is the minister. You cannot say it is what. Because these are things which are happening, and it is those who are doing this business who should be worried of how they are transacting. And we should not drag other people when the deal goes wrong.
And even the footage does not show them meeting the DP. It's just them at the boardroom for a few minutes before, exiting. So it's neither here nor there that they were at the venue, unless, as Mr. Weda says, they have more evidence that implicates the deputy president. It is just what it is as it's seen on the various stories. Now, let's shift gears.